This video is about division of polynomials. Before we begin talking about division of polynomial expressions, we want to take a look at just dividing numbers just because the algorithm to do that is very similar to the algorithm for polynomials. So if I wanted to divide 5 into 631, I actually just ask myself, what do I have to multiply 5 by to get 6, or close to 6, as close as we can get, and we notice that that's 1. And I multiply 1 times 5, that gives me 5, and then I subtract. 6 minus 5 gives me 1, and then I bring down this next number here, which is a 3. And I ask myself, what do I multiply 5 by to get to 13, or close to 13? And we notice the answer there is 2. And we multiply 2 times 5, and we get 10. And then we subtract again. 13 minus 10 is 3. And we'll bring down our next number, which is 1. And we repeat, and we say, what do we have to multiply 5 by to get as close as we can to 31? And we notice that that is 6. So 6 times 5 is 30. And we subtract, and we get 1. And now 5 doesn't actually go into 1, so we know that we're done. So it turns out that 631 is actually 5 times the quotient, 126, with a remainder of 1. We're going to do the same thing with polynomials on the next slide. We're going to divide 20x to the fourth minus 25x squared plus 20x by a monomial 5x. This one we don't actually have to use long division. We can just take each one of our terms, 20x to the fourth minus 25x squared plus 20x by that monomial 5x, and then reduce each one of these individual fractions. Now I can do that because this is a monomial. I'm just breaking it up into several fractions. So here we notice that 20 divided by 5 will give us 4. X to the fourth divided by x will leave me x cubed. I'm just canceling one of these with one of these, leaving 3 x's. Minus 5 goes into 25 5 times. X squared divided by x will leave me x. And then we move on to the next fraction, and we notice that 5 goes into 24 times, and both of the x's cancel. So this is the result of dividing 20x to the fourth minus 25x squared plus 20x divided by 5x. This next example, x squared minus 3x plus 4 divided by the quantity x minus 2, we will have to do using long division because x minus 2 is not a monomial, it's a binomial. So first we write it the same way that we wrote our division when we were just doing numbers. X squared minus 3x plus 4 underneath, and x minus 2 on the outside. And we begin the same way. We ask ourselves, what would I multiply just this x term by to get x squared? And our answer there is x. So we're going to multiply x times x minus 2, and we will get x squared minus 2x. Our next step is to subtract, but we're subtracting the entire expression, so we need to distribute a minus sign through. So this is going to be minus x squared and plus 2x. So x squared minus x squared is going to give us 0. Minus 3x plus 2x is going to give us minus x. We bring down our plus 4, and we're going to repeat the whole process. So again, we ask ourselves, what do we have to multiply this x here to get minus x? The answer is minus 1. So we'll get minus 1 times x minus 2, which will be minus x plus 2. Then we subtract. When we do that, we have to distribute a minus sign through, because we're subtracting everything. And we're going to end up with minus x plus x is 0, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So, in this particular case, x squared minus 3x plus 4 is x minus 2 times x minus 1 plus a remainder of 2. So let's just check this. When I multiply this out, we're going to get x squared minus x minus 2x plus 2 plus 2. X squared minus 3x plus 4. For this next example, we're going to divide 4x squared minus 22x plus 32 by the quantity 2x plus 3. So when we set up our division, we're going to put the 2x plus 3, the denominator, on the outside, and our numerator, 4x squared minus 22x plus 32, underneath our division symbol. We're going to do the exact same thing, but just one piece at a time. So we're going to ask, what do I have to multiply 2x to get 4x squared? Well, 2 times 2 will give me the 4, and x times x will give me the x squared. We multiply through here, 2x times 2x plus 3. Sometimes I like to write this down. And we get 4x squared plus 6x, and then we subtract. Remember, subtraction means I have to distribute through that negative sign, and we end up with 4x squared minus 4x squared, or 0, minus 22x minus 6x is minus 28x, and we'll bring down our 32. Our next step is to do the same process again, asking ourselves, what do we have to multiply 2x by to get negative 28x? The answer here is negative 14. So we're going to multiply negative 14 through our divisor, 2x plus 3, leaving minus 28x minus 42. When I distribute my negative sign, that becomes plus 28x and plus 42. And then I add minus 28x plus 28x is 0, and 32 and 42 is 74. So our 4x squared minus 22x plus 32 can be written as 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 14 plus a remainder of 74. For our last example, I wanted to talk about what to do if you're missing one of the terms. You'll notice here we have x cubed plus 2x plus 6, but it's actually missing an x squared term. So we're going to write this as x cubed plus 0x squared plus 2x plus 6. I need to put a placeholder in there, and in a moment I think you'll see why. We're going to divide that by x plus 2. So we're going to do the same process. What do I have to multiply x by to get x cubed? We get x squared. When we distribute this through our divisor, we get x cubed plus 2x squared. And right here you'll notice that if I didn't have that placeholder here, my like terms would not add up. I'm going to distribute through a negative sign, so we'll have a negative x cubed and a negative 2x squared. I'm going to add these. These will add to 0. 0 plus 2x plus negative 2x squared is minus 2x squared, and we'll bring down our 2x. Then we repeat the process. What do we have to multiply x by to get minus 2x squared minus 2x? If I distribute my minus 2x times my x plus 2, I'm going to get minus 2x squared minus 4x. Distributing through my minus sign changes those. You're going to get 0x squared. 2x and 4x is 6x, and we will bring down our 6 plus 6. And we repeat the process one last time. What do we have to multiply x by to get 6x? The result is 6. That's 6x plus 12 when we multiply through. Distributing the minus sign and adding like terms, we get 6 minus 12 is minus 6. So x squared minus 2x plus 6 is my quotient with a remainder of negative 6. That concludes this video. Thank you.